Hello and welcome to another episode of the Diet Obsessed podcast. I am your host, Veronica Santarelli. I am a certified personal trainer, nutrition and weight loss coach, and this podcast is for those of us who are just obsessed with everything related to improving health and longevity, with a special emphasis on food, fitness, and diet culture. All right, let's get into the show. But first, if you want to support this show, there are a couple ways you can do that. If you're watching on YouTube, just click that subscribe button. It does not cost a thing. It really helps us video podcasters. If you're listening on any device and don't want to spend a penny, the best thing you can do is just leave a rating or review. That just means leave some stars, leave a comment, especially on iTunes. Really makes a big impact for us. And then this is one of my free shows. I do 2 free episodes every other week. And then every other week I do premium content, which you can subscribe to through either Patreon. I have 2 levels on Patreon, a regular level called Craving More, and then Craving More VIP. You do need to go to Patreon for that VIP level. And then I have a regular tier that you can get through really any podcast host, Apple Podcasts, really anywhere you listen to podcasts, you should be able to subscribe to the one I do through Apple Podcasts. So I would appreciate your support. All right, everyone, let's get right into my mental health check-in. I do have a really good short podcast review later about diet culture in China. So I'm gonna review that. But first, let's get into my mental health check-in. Now, it is, what time is it? It's 6:38 in the morning. I just have enough time to do this episode. I am telling you guys, I have been just struggling with the schedule still. You know, I thought I was going to be out of the woods after my friends had visited last month. And then now that when there are 4 Sundays in a month, I'm like, okay, I get to take one of these off from doing this show and preparing for the show. And that was last week. And now I'm looking at, we're going into a holiday weekend with, well, going into it, but Thanksgiving is this month. And again, with the schedule I've had, it's just been really hard to make time to do podcast reviews and do some of the research I want to for this show. But on the 17th, the week of November 17th, my schedule completely changes. And I'll be working my regular 9 to 5 a little bit later. I'll be actually starting at 1:15 in the afternoon and working late until almost 10 p.m. So I'll just have a really big block of time that I can put more effort into the show, prepare a little bit more, I have some ideas for segments and different things I want to do to change it now that I'm doing a video. So we'll see. So that hopefully is going to come later this month, mid-month, and there's some YouTube tutorials I need to watch. I mean, there's just a lot I need to do that I do know to improve the show. And I really appreciate the people that have been loyal and stuck with me for all these years. I really appreciate your support and your patience with the ups and downs that this show has gone through. Certainly my mental health is, that's for damn sure. Today I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see, Monday, which was 2 days ago. Oh my God, Monday was one of those days that I was just like, I'm just going to take it hour by hour. I'm just going to get through this day. It was probably because I drank on Sunday, which I usually don't do. I usually don't drink alcohol on Sunday. But I had 3 glasses of wine. I had 1 more than I really wanted to. You know, I am just like the rest of America that's realizing how much drinking does affect my mental health. Now, I love a good cocktail, love a glass of wine. And I think if I have a day to just completely recover, I'm fine. I think just going into a Monday and just not feeling that great. Yesterday I was a little bit nauseous. I don't know if that's alcohol or what that is, but I was just no bueno on Monday. I was like, okay, Veronica, just 1 hour at a time. And what I do when I have days like that, I'm like, you don't have to be 100%. This is what I do to talk myself into getting through the day and not like calling out sick or curling into a little ball in bed and losing it. I'm just like, it's okay that you don't feel good. It's okay that you don't feel at your best. Nobody needs to know that, right? Nobody knows internally how shitty I feel and as long as I show up, I'll be fine. It'll be okay. And that's what I did. I showed up. And luckily I did not have my morning client. That was one of the reasons I felt like I could drink on Sunday. I didn't have um my normal 4 a.m. call, or I get up at 4 for my 6 a.m. client. So I didn't have him. So I was okay with that. So we'll see how I do with this new schedule. I mean, I'll obviously have a lot more time to do stuff like this and to do the like run errands. Like right now, just going grocery shopping sometimes. I'm like, I have to get so much done on a Sunday. Now I will have those hours during the day to meal prep, go get groceries, and not just have to do everything on a single Sunday. Now I need to perform well till almost 10 p.m., which, I now go to bed at 9. So we'll see how I do with that. I have worked it out with my personal training clients. I'm going to be moving them on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday mostly. I will do a Friday. But I'm keeping my Tuesdays and Thursdays completely off. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be able to do interviews again and figure out how to use this platform I'm now using for video pods with somebody that I'm interviewing. And I'll be able to actually do a dual screen video interview. And I've had some interesting guests that have reached out that want to be interviewed. And I'm like, I don't have time to do it. Literally, I'm not doing it on a Saturday after my clients. I'm not doing it on a Sunday. When am I going to do it? They're not going to do it at night, and I don't want to do it at night. I realize I can't do this at night, really. So hopefully that does help things, make this better. And again, I appreciate your patience as we improve this show. But yeah, so the new job is going well. And my mom is just getting back from her travels. She did one of those Viking cruises she went to Budapest and Prague, and she visited a good friend of hers in Belgium. And I'm just so happy for her. I'm like, to see my mom struggle as a single mom back in the day when she was in the bathtub crying, trying to figure out how she was going to feed us and keep the lights on. And it's so nice to see her, living this great life now and able to travel and able to see different parts of the world and just enjoy her life. I mean, I think she does. I think she would like to. Well, she's actually helping my brother at his law practice. She does work with him sometimes, but again, I'm really, really excited. And it sounds like she had a good time. It doesn't sound like a cruise was a good fit overall for her. I think she prefers to just be able to kind of do what she wants to do, stay as long as she wants to stay somewhere, not have to be at a certain place. I don't know. Have you ever taken a cruise? I've never taken one. I would like to experience it at some point, but my thought is maybe the Greek Isles, where there's so many islands you do want to see, and you do need a boat to get there. So I'm thinking that I did have this girl that I follow did a Virgin cruise, and then this other influencer that I follow has taken a Virgin cruise, which I hear are don't there's no kids, and it's like a cooler, younger kind of vibe. Viking is going to be retirees. It's going to be, people in their 70s and 80s most likely, which again, I love hanging out with people in their 70s and 80s. But you know, I think maybe just a slightly younger demographic, if I'm going to take a cruise for the first time, would be good. So anyway, so I'm planning for my future travel. It's not going to happen this year. We're talking, so this weekend, Chad's birthday was just on the 3rd. And so this weekend, we're going to celebrate it up in Flagstaff. He likes to do this tequila sunrise, which I cannot drink tequila. It's like this homecoming thing that they do up at this college town in Flagstaff, Arizona. And it was one of the first dates Chad and I had. Like after we had been seeing each other for like a week or two, he invited me to this thing, and I'm like, sure. I was like, I love, that was one of the things I loved about him. Is he invited me to things, and he included me with his friend group, and I'm like, sure, like that sounds fun. And it's just a drunk fest, right? You get up at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, which will be much easier for me at this point. Like now that I'm used to getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning. When I first met him, like 5 years ago, I was not a morning person. I mean, it was hard for me to get up at like 7 or 8 in the morning. And now I'm like very much a morning person, but I can't drink tequila, so it'll be a vodka sunrise. Now, I have recently rediscovered the sunrise in other environments, and I'm like, oh, these are so good. They are very sugary. Um, they have orange juice, grenadine. No, wait, I think it's pineapple juice and grenadine, maybe a little bit of orange juice, and then whatever alcohol. Like I've had vodka sunrises instead of the tequila, and they're quite good, but they're very, very sugary. And I think just the amount of those I've had over the past couple months, and definitely packs on the pounds. I will say I've definitely gained a few pounds, and I think part of it is those heavier drinks. And those aren't the only heavy drinks I've been consuming, which I will talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so this is going to be another debaucherous, alcohol-fueled weekend, which again, this is not a sober podcast. So, and there's a lot of people cutting down on alcohol for the health benefits. I applaud those people. I really do. It's obviously not like it's a toxin, right? Alcohol is very toxic to your body. Do I still like to have a cocktail, glass of wine? Yeah. Many? Yes, I do. I am somebody that likes to change my state. So that will be this weekend. Probably lots of, not great food, but it'll be fun. We'll be around lots of friends, and it'll be cool up there, like very, pretty cold, and just fun. It's, homecoming weekend, so football and all kinds of good stuff. 'Tis the season. So now I am back on the birth control pill. Many of you might not have known I was off of it. So starting this new job, my insurance changed again. And I went to pick up my birth control pills. Now I'm only really I'm 46 years old, probably not going to get pregnant at this point. And I haven't had my period because of these birth control pills. I've not had my period for years, maybe a little spotting here and there. But I went to pick up my birth control pills, and they were like over $100. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, I'm not paying over $100 for birth control pills. It's just not going to happen. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I just won't take these pills anymore. But I was so confused. I'm like, why is my insurance company not covering these? Like, I've never paid for birth control pills. And so I finally got to the bottom of it. I went a couple months without, was it even a full month? I don't even know if it's been a full month, actually. It's probably been about a full month that I've gone without them. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just go off of them now. I'm 46. I probably won't need them that much longer to control my period. I'll probably go into, my mom had, I think, wait, did my mom have into menopause early? I think so. But, yeah, I'm like, I'll probably go into menopause at some point, as I get older and as I get into my 50s, and, maybe it just won't be so bad anymore. But then I got my period, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 I do not want this. I remembered all the memories of having to carry tampons around and having to constantly change them, TMI for any, buddy that doesn't want to hear about this, but no. No, thank you. I really, and I know there's all this rhetoric out there. People should be having regular periods, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are screaming how bad birth control pills are. They've been great for me. At least my doctor from when I was very young put me on this very low estrin. And so it's from what I understand, not a medical doctor here. Always consult your doctor, obviously, but it's like the lowest level of hormones that they could give, or they're not real hormones, obviously, they're synthetic hormones, but the lowest level they could give to prevent pregnancy. So that was always my doctor's goal, and I think it made sense. It just always they always worked well just to control my mood. Um, and so yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll get off of them, and then I quickly realized I do not want to deal with my period. I also don't want to be shoving tampons up me. Like that can't be good for you all day, right? Having that cotton up there. I mean, what are you gonna do? So anyway, what I realized is they just my new health provider, my whole new health plan just doesn't want to pay for the name brand. So they'll pay for the generic. So I finally got my healthcare provider to prescribe me some generic brand. And so now I'm taking those. So I haven't really noticed a difference in my mood necessarily, but I mean, I remembered those period cramps. Those were not fun. Oh my God. Like it just took me back to childhood and how miserable it is to be a woman going through your period. It's the worst. I don't know how women deal with it. No, thank you. Nine danke. So yeah. So that's what's new in my world. I am very happy that the hostages are almost all home in Israel, that there seems to be, some sort of peace happening in that part of the world. That makes me very happy. Hopefully we can move forward with less violence and war. But anyway, that is my mental health check-in of the week. I hope all of you have a great mental health week yourselves. All right, let's get into some nutrient news. So I wanted to talk today about how Brazil nuts can lower your LDL, or the bad cholesterol. And again, I know some people have different feelings about cholesterol, and if higher levels of LDL is bad. My LDL was a little bit higher than they like to see it during my last blood work. And I am someone that, I don't know, genetically, I might be predisposed to have high cholesterol genetically. And because my dad had like 3 heart attacks all throughout his life, but he also didn't exercise. He also ate pretty much only fried food and sugar and, steak and chips, stuff that is high in cholesterol. And I love butter. I just love it. I eat steak. So I do eat a lot of cholesterol myself, and I do love it. And so I was thinking I would try to naturally lower my LDL through diet, kind of do a little experiment with myself this year to see and try to lower how much butter I'm using, for example. And I definitely have cut down on the amount of butter I'm using. I have not replaced butter. I am not interested in replacing butter in my diet. I love butter. And I do continue to use a decent amount of it. But I'm like, oh, if I can just eat some Brazil nuts every month, this might do it. And it also has a ton of other health benefits. So this is a National Library of Medicine. This is a research study about how a single consumption of high amounts of Brazil nuts improves lipid profile of healthy volunteers. So it investigated the effects of Brazil nut ingestion on serum lipid profile in healthy volunteers. And so there were only 10 subjects in this study. They were all considered healthy. And each subject was tested 4 times in a randomized crossover in relation to the ingestion of different serving sizes of the Brazil nuts. So they were giving 0, 5, 20, or 50 grams. At each treatment point, peripheral blood was drawn before and at 1, 3, 9, 24, and 48 hours, and 5 and 30 days. Blood samples were tested for total cholesterol, HDL, LDL, triglycerides, selenium, and a couple of other, total protein, a lot of different, they were testing for a lot of different areas. And the results were a significant increase of the plasma selenium levels was observed at 6 hours within the groups receiving the nuts. LDL was significantly lower, whereas HDL was significantly higher 9 hours after the ingestion of 20 or 50 grams of nuts. The biochemical parameters of liver and kidney functions were not modified by the ingestion of nuts. And so the conclusion is this study shows that the ingestion of a single serving of Brazil nuts can acutely improve the serum lipid profile of healthy volunteers. A single serving. It's pretty amazing, actually, that a single serving can lower it for an entire month. So if you eat a serving of Brazil nuts in a month, you will have lower LDL. I'm going to test this. I'm going to go get some Brazil nuts. I'm going to start eating a single serving each month. And selenium in general is very good for you. Selenium is an essential mineral. And it provides a lot of different health benefits. Chad actually started taking selenium after his cancer treatments, just because he was told it was an antioxidant and that it was really good for you. He just felt like it was going to be something that he should take. So he is very good about taking just a supplement version. And it does have a lot of antioxidant properties. It helps protect cells from oxidative damage caused by free radicals, which can reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and Alzheimer's disease. Hello, we want that. We do not want chronic, we don't want cognitive decline. That's for damn sure. Now, selenium also plays a role in thyroid function. It's essential for the production of thyroid hormones. It plays a role in regulating thyroid function and preventing thyroid disorders. It's essential for immune support. It helps boost the immune system by enhancing the production of white blood cells and reducing inflammation. It's really good that Chad takes that. It's one of the reasons I'm glad he takes it. Cardiovascular health. Selenium may help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by lowering blood pressure, improving cholesterol levels, and reducing inflammation in the blood vessels. Cancer prevention. There's certain types of cancer such as prostate, lung, and skin cancer. It's been known to show positive effects for. So lots of benefits on protecting against neurodegeneration, cognitive decline, as we've already discussed. It may be good for skin, hair, nails, which, hey, we want that. And I also don't want diabetes, so it can help with that. So I am definitely going to be looking for some Brazil nuts. I was going to look for them at Costco, and I'm like, wait a minute. These are going to go bad if I get them at Costco because I only need a single serving a month. So I might actually, I'm going to try to find some at Trader Joe's so I can find a smaller package, and then I'll probably put them into single servings and freeze them. That way they stay good, because as I talked about a recent episode, we know that the oil in nuts will go bad. So anyway, that was my nutrient news of the week. All right, let's get into a foodie affair. So I wanted to talk about the situation that happened on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, there is a huge age gap between this woman, Bronwyn, and her husband, Todd. I think it's Todd. Yeah, it is Todd. Sorry, that just took a really long time to look that up. So they're calling her a sugar baby because he's significantly older. And they're picking apart this scene where they go for ice cream. Now, I give her credit for filming this scene, okay? Because, you know what, I don't know, you've been married for a while, there's a significant age gap, and he is clearly not wanting to be filmed. He's grumpy, he's not super talkative. She's trying to talk to him about the the situations that are happening with the women. You can tell he could care less. And they're doing it in this ice cream parlor, right? And she has this big ice cream and she's eating it and she's talking about how she loves her cherry and that she savors this cherry, the cherry on top of a sundae, and how she savors it and she loves to eat it last, and how he would always in the past eat her cherry and it would make her so mad, and because she really wanted her cherry. So then you see him a couple seconds later grab the cherry, eat the cherry, and there's this big debate on, does he hate her, right? Like, does he hate her? Did he do that maliciously? Is he just this grumpy guy that maliciously ate this cherry from Bronwyn? And look, as someone who does not like to share my dessert when I want it all, I think he was just trying to be playful in that moment. That was my take on it. Now, I am normally very protective of my desserts. I have been known to eat Girl Scout cookies in the closet to keep it away from my partner. So, you would think that I would be on Bronwyn's side. But I do think that he was just trying to do something for the scene. I think he was probably desperate to make something happen that was interesting. And so he ate that cherry. The conversation was awkward because he didn't care. Now, does that mean that I think that they have no love in their relationship, that just because there's a big age gap, that is why they don't work? I don't believe that, actually. I do think that there are, like my sister and her husband, there's like a 20-year age gap there, or more, maybe. Yeah, about 20 years. And you would never know it. He doesn't look that much older than her. They have so much fun together. He does not seem like he's in his mid 60s. Like he just doesn't. And I don't know, there might be a 30-year age gap between Bronwyn. 20 years is a lot. This one might be more. But overall, I mean, she kept that conversation flowing, So again, would you be mad if someone stole your cherry? First of all, I think those cherries are disgusting. Those maraschino cherries that they put on, they look pretty, but the shell is all hard, right? The skin of the cherry it doesn't have a good texture. The whole thing does not have a good texture. The inside of the cherry is kind of crystallized, and I don't know. I've never liked, it's sickeningly sweet. I love a natural, fresh cherry, especially if it's firm and kind of crunchy. Love a fresh cherry. But I don't know, those maraschino cherries are not good. What do you think? Do you like maraschino cherries? Would you be mad if you were filming a scene for The Real Housewives and your partner ate your cherry? Or would you just be glad that there was something to talk about? Anyway, that is my foodie affair of the week. All right, let's get into my healthy habits segment. So this past week or two has been It's been not the healthiest. I have been getting a few workouts here and there, but just not enough. Really not enough. I mean, look, it's November. It's the holidays. I'm just I'm going to give myself grace. I'm going to work out when I can. Like today I chose to do this podcast instead of get my workout in. And that's fine. Like I might get it in later and it's only 20 minutes. I might jump, do some rebounding for 10 minutes. The pressure is off me. I'm just doing the best that I can. I did not go grocery shopping this past week because I had bought a bunch of stuff for the house that I didn't use when my friends were in town. And I'm like, I just want to use the rest of this stuff. I had this big package of carrots that I hadn't used. So I'm like, okay, that's going to be the vegetable that I bring with me. I've had like these 2 packets of soup that I'm like, okay, I can have those for some lunches or healthy dinners. I had bought extra salami and cheese and cereal and all kinds of stuff. So I've just been like I had a package of pea pods that I hadn't opened yet. So I ate those last week for one of my vegetables. Now one of them did go bad. I actually had to throw away a bag of pea pods and a package of spinach, which that never happens. I almost never waste vegetables. I hate it when I do because usually the spinach I should have thrown in the freezer and just used it for my smoothie. I'm so mad at myself that I didn't do that. That is the type of thing that I will look back on with regret. And I mean, I won't dwell on it, but I'm like, oh, that was a waste of like $4 and healthy, good, fresh, organic spinach. It's annoying to me that I didn't just throw it in the freezer. But anyway, so for lunches, it's so funny because when I work in the office has this incredible cafeteria. They've got a salad bar. There's prepackaged salads that are there, and I usually bring something. I bring my superfood smoothie. I eat that throughout the morning, and I usually just like to go and be a little hermit. And there's this big window, and there's a seat that just overlooks this red rock, and so I usually just sit there, bring my lunch, and just immediately go there, just to have some alone time, just to not to have to talk at all, and I usually bring some sort of protein, vegetable, and again, something that has, some carbs that'll at least be satisfying. So I brought this week, I did a little baggie of pistachios. I love pistachios. Carrots, and then some hummus. I had this olive tapenade hummus that was insanely good. So I just dipped the carrot into the hummus, use the stickiness of the hummus to pick up a couple nuts, and it's just a good, healthy, easy lunch that takes no time to prepare. I'm literally grabbing the nuts, grabbing the hummus, grabbing the carrots, throwing them in the bag with some, like an ice pack. And that's my lunch. Now, yesterday I did go into the office. I was starving. For some reason, I woke up I don't know, if I eat a lot of carbs at night, I often do wake up hungry the next morning, interestingly enough. So, but I didn't go and get anything, even though there's this big, amazing cafeteria that can make you pretty much anything you want. I just stuck to what I had brought with me. So that's one of the reasons that it really does help to have your lunch with you and you save a lot of money. I mean, we get good discounts at this cafeteria, but it's still better to bring your own lunch. You might spend, if you really do the math, you might have a $2 lunch, or $2 lunch versus a $4 lunch, and you're cutting your expenses in half for lunches every day. Again, that's important to me while I'm in this phase before I get promoted. I also had wanted to I remember, what was it? yeah, last Sunday, I'm like, I should do some meal prepping. I'm like, I have stuff in the house. I had these potatoes and mushrooms and a bunch of onions I hadn't used. And I had a bunch of chicken in the freezer. So I ended up looking up how to just shred chicken. So I ended up making just some chicken breast. You basically kind of steam it almost in this pot with some chicken broth, and then it just shreds really easily with some forks. So I just shredded some chicken breast. I shredded like 3 chicken breasts, and then I had made some Yukon Gold potatoes with mushrooms and onions, and then I put a little gravy on that. And I had that for dinners in during the week, and it was all whole foods and high protein. It wasn't that good. I didn't really love it, but it was well balanced, and it was satisfying enough, and it was easy because it was all done. So yeah. So, and it's funny because I was thinking about how, just going back to my easy, quick lunch. Now and again, from my working at LA Weight Loss, where they taught you to eat your protein, your vegetable, your fat, you want to have all those elements in a well balanced meal. When I was in high school, I was so socially awkward and nervous and scared about eating in front of people. And I had braces, and I just wanted something that was really easy to eat. And I just remembered back, like I would get Fritos because I could like put an individual Frito chip in my mouth. And then I would get this cookie sandwich that was it was a sandwich of icing, like vanilla icing, super sugary with 2 chocolate chip cookies around it. And that's what I would eat. I would like be able to pick off a piece of cookie with the icing, put it in my mouth. Can you imagine that's what I ate for lunch in high school? Oh my God, how times have changed. Anyway, those were my healthy habits of the week. I hope all of you have had some great healthy habits this week yourselves. All right, let's get into my tasty treat segment. Now, I definitely have been indulging, as one does, especially on this podcast, and it's Halloween. So Halloween candy all over the place. And again, this is what I was kind of preparing for because I knew over Halloween there'd be candy in the house and I'm going to want to eat some. It's just if it's there, I'm going to want to eat it. So I was trying not to be kind of like at my heaviest coming into the holidays because it's just going to be that much harder to, get back on track and lose it but I also did want to enjoy and indulge. And so Chad had gotten a bunch of Halloween candy. I picked out some of the chocolate, just like the little Hershey's bars. I love those. I froze some of the Almond Joy. I love a frozen Almond Joy. So good. Kit Kat, Skittles, not a ton. I kept it to, maybe 10 pieces over Halloween. When I was in the office, there were some people with candy on their desks. I managed to avoid most of it. But it was, I did want to have some. Let's see, what else? Oh my God, the weekends have been, typical, going out. I did have Pizza Bianco the other night. That is a pretty famous pizza place in Phoenix. I've been there once, but I had never tried their pasta. And so I wanted to try their pasta. So I just got they just have a basic spaghetti. I mean, it was fine. I mean, it was a fresh sauce. You could definitely tell that it was a very light marinara sauce. The sauce was pretty good. Very, very like it tasted like fresh tomatoes, and it had a little bit of basil in it, which was good. But they didn't have fresh made pasta. I love that's gonna do it for me. If you make homemade spaghetti, you have my heart, and it's not overcooked. If it's al dente, perfection. That's why I like to go to Sophia's, And I did want to go to this other place that I do know has fresh made pasta, but my friend that I was with did not want to go there. So I compromised. I met her a little closer to her house, and she had given me a few places to pick out of, and that was the one I picked because again, I was like, I want to try their pasta. The pizza I got there, I mean, again, it was not that good. Sophia's blows this place out of the water. I'm telling you. When you come to Phoenix, do not go to Pizza Bianco, go to Sophia's. It is insane. So Pizza Bianco is definitely more central Phoenix, and Sophia's is like out and carefree. But let me tell you, Sophia's is insane. They have a pizza oven. Their pizza is so, so good. Oh, I think it's better than Pizza Bianco's. I got this Wise Guy pizza that had sausage and onions. These onions were so thick and slimy. They were like huge slugs on the pizza. I picked them off. I'm like, these are slimy. They are not good. What is wrong with you? So again, maybe that's traditional Italian, but not in my book, not where I come from. That's for damn sure. So that was not good. I did have some really good garlic cheese beer bread the other day. Oh, that was good. And there's a company in Arizona called the Noble Bread Company. It's pretty famous here. And when a restaurant carries their bread, it's higher end bread. It's special bread. Anyway, that's what I've been told about this bread. And every time I've had it, I've been like, okay, it's good. It's not that good, right? But you do notice it. At least I notice it. Maybe because somebody raved about this place one time for me. And so now when I see it on the menu, I'm like, oh, that means it's special, more expensive bread. Now, I will say this Noble pretzel that I ordered with some beer cheese was really delicious. It was darker, very different looking than your typical standard pretzel that you get. I think you could tell it was made with better ingredients, more rustic tasting, really good. It was good. It was excellent. And then I did do another, what's it called? I did that salami and pecorino sandwich again. I got a baguette from Trader Joe's, and instead of making my own olive tapenade, I did buy some, which I really regretted because I got it from the shelf. So it was jarred, so it had preservatives, and it was nowhere near as delicious as mine. If I can just toot my own horn for a minute. The recipe that I make is so, so, so good. I'm sorry. It blows this one out of the water. But this Milano salami that I've discovered at Sprouts that's very, very thinly sliced is incredible. And then pecorino cheese, I've realized is probably my favorite cheese. It is so good. It's so salty and delicious. I just love it. So I had the baguette didn't last long, but I've been taking some sourdough bread and making little salami sandwiches with some pecorino and just the leftover Milano salami. Chef's kiss. So good. I'm like obsessed with the sandwich now. And I did have a really delicious Halloween themed cocktail. Now, I was very upset because we went to this Four Peaks Brewing Company. I think it's pretty well known because Anheuser-Busch bought it, but this is where I had the Noble pretzel. But they had this drink, and I was like, oh my God, I am going to have this. I actually was so excited about it that I read all of the ingredients to the table. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. I think I actually took a picture of it because I was like, I want to talk about this on my podcast. Okay, here it is. So this caramel apple that I tried to order, it had locally made AZ distilling mission vodka, green apple liqueur, fresh lemon juice, and a kale apple lemon Power Greens cold pressed juice blend, shaken and served over ice in a caramel dipped crushed pretzel crusted glass. I'm like, sold. Give me this drink. Bring it to me. I wanted it so bad. And as soon as I order it, the guy's like, oh, he's like, I have bad news for you. I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, he's like, we ran out of one of the ingredients. And I thought he said, well, at first he thought they ran out of the green apple liqueur. And I'm like, just bring me another drink that uses that Power Greens cold pressed juice. I'm like, that's really what I'm like, I'll take that with vodka or something. Like, just bring me that. And then that's what they ran out of. I'm like, oh, are you serious? So anyway, so I ended up getting this other drink. I should have taken a screenshot of this one because it was really good. It was a very ghostly, because it was like white and they put some cocoa powder on it, so it kind of looked like a ghost. But it was really good. It had some sort of coconut liqueur and it was delicious. It tasted like a coconut, like an almond joy. It was really, really, really delicious. So it was just as good. It was really just the Power Greens element that I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm being healthy right now. So anyway, those were my tasty treats of the week. I hope all of you have had some delicious, tasty treats this week yourselves. All right, let's get into my podcast review. Now, this is just a very short review. I was listening to the Heather McDonald podcast, Juicy Scoop. I'm obsessed. I'm a subscriber to that. I pay for her premium content because I love her. She entertains me so much. And she had this comedian on by the name of, and I might be saying it wrong, but Jiayoung Summers. She's from China, and the way you spell her name is Jiayoung, and then Summers. And you can't find her on Instagram. You have to go on TikTok. She's only on TikTok, which she should be on Instagram too. But I wanted to talk about how she experienced diet culture in China. And I've never heard this discussed before. I know Chinese culture is very, it's very strict, it's very controlled. And I do think that, again, this is my opinion and perception of what I just heard on this podcast. But I mean, look, it is a fact that a lot of other cultures around the world are influenced by American culture. So when she started talking about some of the ways that she was pressured to look when she was acting in China, it made me feel like, is this because of American culture, right? Are they trying to look more Americanized, if you will? So, because obviously our culture, our diet culture is the Eurocentric, very thin, white. There's that very traditional, societally approved, right? That's why, again, we talk about the body positivity movement and Black Lives Matter and all those movements that have become more important and more well known, because a lot of minorities have been marginalized, have not been shown in their, for their natural looks. And I would imagine that Chinese culture is also, very influenced. Right? You hear about how Paris Hilton is just idolized. Blonde people are just idolized in some of these other countries because they just don't have a lot of blonde people. Right? And so she talked about how the Chinese culture is it's a judgmental society, and how she had gotten on this Chinese TV show and they were trying to tell her that her jaw was too wide. They were like, oh, you look like a man or a trans woman. And they wanted her to actually shave her face and get surgery. And when she wouldn't, they cut and glued her hair to the side of her face to help make it appear more slim. Crazy. She said that a lot of the women that she was around were like 90 pounds. She said that you were expected to be very, very, very thin, and that she was asked to, or she was made to whiten and bleach her skin They made her face extremely white, but then her neck was still tan. And she said that she was a size 0, but she was still considered fat. And she's like, I was basically just eating spinach at the time. She said she would get so weak on set that she would just like faint and pass out. And they were like, "Oh, don't worry, just stand there. We have a voice actress. She's very good. She can kind of speak for you." And finally, Jiayoung was like, "Well, wait, you hate my face, you hate my body, you hate my voice. Why am I here?" And she's like, "I don't think you want me to be here." It sounds like her mom, from what she described, her mom called her fat and ugly. And she said that that was very common in Chinese culture, to kind of have that verbal type abuse from parents. They're very critical of their kids, especially women, and especially back then. I think that I don't know how old this Jiayoung Summers is. I would imagine she's close. She might be in her 40s now, is what I would guess. I mean, she looks gorgeous. I don't know how old she is exactly, but she looks like she could be in her 40s. But she said that she had been married before. This is why, again, I want everyone to go support this woman. She has this really fascinating story. And if you listen to Juicy Scoop, go listen to this episode. It's so good. I admire her for her work ethic, for her just tenacity and drive, and this ability to just never give up and face adversity and overcome challenges. I mean, it's amazing to hear her story, because she had met her husband at this comedy festival, and she said that her ex-husband, and she said that he had love bombed her at the beginning, and she fell in love, and he was very wealthy, and he put her in this big house, but once she became pregnant, he became very abusive, very verbally abusive. And, basically saying things like, "Oh, you're getting too fat. Your legs look shorter now that you're pregnant and getting fatter, and you should wear heels. Oh, you look tired without makeup on. You should, as soon as you get up in the morning, you should put makeup on so that I don't have to look at you looking so tired." And, just terrible. She finally they'd gotten married in China. She'd had a son at first. And she said that when you get married in China and the man has the money, women have very few rights. And so finally she'd hit she'd hit the last straw. She'd had a baby girl, and she was finally doing shows. She had bought a comedy show so that she could do comedy regularly and hone her craft and get really good at it. And she was working so hard. This is a woman that worked hard to like put herself through school. And when she was young, she had a stuttering problem that she did grow out of, but she had this huge show. She had finally made it to this point where she had this huge show that was this huge deal for her. And 30 minutes before she's about to go on stage, this ex-husband of hers was like, "Oh, you probably shouldn't do that. You have a stuttering problem. You're just going to get up there and stutter." And she's like, "I don't stutter anymore. That's in the past." But then she actually started to stutter because she was so angry at him for wanting to ruin her night. And then I guess she slapped him. He started choking her. She bashed him over the head with a cutting board. And anyway, the mom got involved and broke it up. And then she finally divorced him. But because they had been married in China and she basically had very few rights, he didn't give her a dime, didn't pay her any child support, didn't give her anything. And she didn't ask for it. She was like, "Look, just sign these documents because I just want nothing to do with you anymore." She signed away all rights financially. All she wanted was to be able to have her kids, raise them right, and live her life. And now she's becoming this huge success. but also she's still working really hard to make it. And I just think that she's overcome all these challenges and worked really hard, and she'd never thought of the verbal abuse that she suffered as abuse. She said she was so used to it, but it was when it got physical that she was like, absolutely not. Then she realized that she was being abused all those years. And now she is out of that situation. She's successful. She has a new partner it sounds like she's really happy, and he supports her and is helping her with her career. So anyway, she seems like somebody that you should check out if you like comedy and you want to support a really strong woman who has overcome diet culture. And anyway, I just thought it was very interesting to learn a little snippet of what happens in China on some of these shows. And, is it influenced by, American diet culture, right? And they're seeing what America's doing and how skinny our actresses are, and maybe that's influencing their culture, unfortunately. But again, hopefully things are changing. I think we do like to see more real people out there, and there's definitely more, real size models out there, and just, social media has changed things quite a bit. So all that's really positive. But anyway, so that is the show. I hope all of you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing to Craving More or Craving More VIP. Please leave a rating or review for this show wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. It really, really makes a difference. Leave a comment. If you are on Instagram, follow me at the Diet Obsessed Podcast. I'm also on Instagram at veronica.santorelli. And feel free to DM me if you have any ideas for shows, if you want me to cover anything specifically. I love hearing from my listeners. And until we meet again, I hope all of you have a very balanced week.